Have you ever had that feeling like you're on the outside looking in? Like there's this place of wholeness, of life that you just can't quite get back to? Well, today we're diving into a really ancient story about that exact feeling, a quest to return to the tree of life.
So here's the core idea for this whole explainer, and it's a fascinating twist. What if the very thing that seems to be blocking your path is actually showing you the way forward? What if the guards at the gate are also the key to unlocking it? That's a pretty cool thought.
All right, so here's our roadmap. We're going to tackle this in 5 parts. We'll start with the quest for life, then meet the guardians at the gates. After that, we'll find the four-faced key, look at the masks we wear, and finally, really understand truth's flaming sword.
Okay, let's jump in. Part 1, the quest for life. Now, every good quest has some ground rules, right? And this one starts with a really foundational command, one of the most important in the Hebrew scriptures. For centuries, the command was clear: love with your heart, your soul, and your strength. But look closely at what happens when Jesus repeats it. He adds one little word: mind. Now, this isn't just a tiny edit. This changes everything. It reframes love from being just a feeling or a duty to being a conscious, thoughtful choice. So, what is this fourfold love? Well, it's a complete offering of your entire being. Your heart, that's your will, your desires. Your soul, that's your whole living self. Your strength is all your energy, all your resources. And now, the mind. That's your understanding, your reason, your deliberate consent. It's a call for total voluntary engagement. And this simple phrase just nails the new dynamic, doesn't it? It's this massive shift from a rule you have to follow to an invitation you get to accept. What was once demanded by law is now freely chosen in love.
Okay, but if there's this open invitation, why can't we just waltz right in? Well, that brings us to the first major hurdle. Part 2, the guardians at the gate. Because after humanity was exiled from Eden, the way back was blocked.
The book of Genesis tells us that God stationed these powerful, mysterious beings called cherubim, along with a terrifying, constantly turning flaming sword, right there to guard the path. I mean, on the surface, that looks like a permanent do not enter sign.
And it gets even weirder. The prophet Ezekiel has this vision of the cherubim, and they're not what you might expect. Each one has 4 different faces: a man, a lion, an ox, and an eagle. I mean, what on earth could that mean?
So, this brings us to a huge question. Is this just it? A total dead end? Is the whole quest doomed from the very beginning? Is there just no way past these bizarre four-faced guardians?
Well, this is where it gets really good. Part 3 is where we solve the riddle with the four-faced key. Because, as it turns out, these guardians are not what they seem. They aren't just a lock, they are the key.
This is the big aha moment of the whole thing. The 4 faces are a mirror, reflecting back the exact fourfold love we were just talking about. The face of a man, that reflects your mind, your reason, and your choice. The lion, that's your strength, your courage. The ox reflects your soul, your life of service. And the eagle reflects your heart, your deepest desires, soaring upward. The guards aren't saying, go away. They're asking, are you whole? Have you brought all of yourself to this?
And suddenly, everything changes. The gates are open. The external barrier was never the real problem. The way in is marked by the very same love that was commanded from the very beginning.
But that brings us to part 4 and a new question: the masks we wear. If the gate is open, why isn't everyone just walking through? Well, it's because the real obstacle isn't outside of us at all. It's inside.
Jesus' famous parable of the prodigal son illustrates this perfectly. You've got this father who literally runs to welcome his son home. The gate is wide open, the party is ready to go. But both of his sons are trapped, not by their father, but by their own internal stories about themselves.
They each wear a different kind of mask. The younger son wears the mask of wild, rebellious freedom. The older son wears the mask of bitter, self-righteous duty. One is lost way out in the world, and the other is lost right there inside his own home. And both of them are kept from the feast by the masks they refuse to take off.
And that's really the requirement for entry. To come just as you are, face to face, no mask, no pretense.
But hold on, what about that terrifying flaming sword? That brings us to our final section, truth's flaming sword. And we need to completely rethink what this judgment is really all about.
The Apostle Paul talks about this future moment when we will see face to face, a moment of being completely and totally known.
And that's the purpose of the sword. It's not to punish, it's to reveal.
So that flaming sword, it's a metaphor for an encounter with pure, truthful love. Think of it as surgical, not sadistic. Its purpose is to cut away the masks, the lies, the self-deception, not to destroy the person, but to expose everything, so that the real person can finally actually be healed.
And this is where our choice becomes so critical. How we experience this encounter with truth depends entirely on our posture. If we cling to our masks, if we refuse the truth, then that love is going to feel like a consuming fire. But if we consent to it, if we agree to be truly seen, then that very same judgment feels like a revealing, healing light.
And at the very end of the story in the book of Revelation, the whole quest is complete. The tree of life is back, standing right in the middle of the city for everyone. Its leaves are for healing. The gates are permanently open, and the final promise is so simple and so profound. They shall see his face. So we've come full circle, haven't we? The way back isn't about perfectly obeying a law out of fear. It's about freely choosing to offer our whole selves, our heart, soul, strength, and mind in love.
So I'll leave you with a final thought to chew on. If that encounter with truth really is a perfect mirror, what face would you bring to it? What mask might need to fall?